Welcome back, everybody. We're finally going to wrap up all this engine work on this old Case DC and try to get it running again for the first time in over 6 months since we started. Over the course of this video, I did run into one problem that was kind of a big hassle, but I managed to get that fixed, and in the end we were successful. You'll have to forgive my voice just a little bit. I am on day 11 of COVID. The wife and I both got it, and it is getting a little bit better, but it's a pretty slow recovery process for us. So, picking up right where we left off last time, here I've got all the exhaust and intake port ferrules installed. Make sure all the ports are completely free of carbon buildup and dirt and rust, otherwise the ferrules won't fit right. Then the manifold goes on over the 4 studs. Keep checking the gap as you tighten the manifold so it goes on uniformly over the gaskets. Alright guys, final assembly is complete. I've already added the coolant, the engine oil, the fuel, and connected the battery. I'm going to leave the hood off for now, just until I'm completely done with it. And it's finally time for the first startup attempt. Well, it looks like it's leaking oil from the front of the oil pan somewhere in kind of a strange place. And it's leaking quite a bit of oil. So at this point, I'm wondering if I just missed a gasket or something. Looking through the inspection cover here, you can see there's a gasket that got folded over somehow. At this point, I still wasn't sure what was happening, but this is obviously not right. And that's really too bad that happened because the rest of the oil pan is perfectly dry. So unfortunately, I just need to drop the oil pan again and figure this problem out. The leak is just too bad to run the engine like this. Fast forward 2 days and I have the oil pan removed, and let me tell you, that is a lousy job. That thing is so heavy and awkward to deal with. Anyway, before you can fix a problem, you have to actually find the problem. And here it is. You can see that gasket hanging down there. It's ripped and incomplete. Well, that's the one that was folded over and pinched between the oil pan and the front bolster. I'm not sure how I missed this during the installation process, but this is clearly the problem, and this is exactly where the oil was leaking from. Because I can't replace this gasket, I'll just have to cut it off and attempt to repair it using form gasket sealant like I did on other places on the pan. Well, after another 3 hours of work, the pan is reinstalled. I even got the toolbox reinstalled. I ended up spending a lot of time with this repair because this isn't something I wanted to do over again. So I really took my time with it, and I'm pretty sure that I have it fixed. But there's only one way to find out. So let's get this old girl fired back up again and see what happens. If you remember, the primary reason I did all this engine work is that there was coolant contamination in the crankcase. So I just want to check the oil one last time to make sure the repairs were actually successful. And this oil looks fantastic. This is what oil is supposed to look like. There's no cross-contamination at all. Well, I can hardly believe this engine project is finally done, but I still have more to do on this tractor. Because it's got a decent amount of horsepower and because it's so heavy, I think this would be a perfect tractor to use to level out our long driveway. So I'm going to try to get my rear blade adapted to this Eagle Claw hitch and see if I can make that work. In the meantime, I'll have to decide what I want to do with this tractor cosmetically. Should I clean it up and paint it, or just leave it as it is? Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment. As far as lessons learned on this project, well, I've never been overly scared of buying tractors that, need to be repaired. Making the repairs is actually part of the enjoyment for me. But after this project, I will be a little bit more cautious in the future. We're lucky that so many parts are available for the tractors of this era, but this tractor is a perfect example because a lot of the parts are not available. And if you can't get parts for them, you can't fix them, and you might end up with a 5,000-pound paperweight. Anyway, sourcing the parts for this one was pretty difficult, but in the end I did make it happen over the course of many months. I'm proud to say that all the engine work was a success, and we saved another tractor from the grave. Thanks everybody for watching. As always, you will definitely see more of this old rig in the future. Take care everybody. We'll see you next time.